I'm going to ask you something, and I want you to think about it real hard before you answer. How much money do you think a CDL truck driver makes in a year? Most people guess high. They think CDL equals big money. And I get it. The commercials, the billboards, the trucking schools all tell you the same thing. But I want to show you the actual numbers. Because when I ran them myself, sitting right here in this cab, what I found changed everything for me. We're breaking down Hotshot non-CDL versus CDL. Every dollar, every cost, every load. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which path puts more money in your pocket in 2026. Let's go. Before we get into the numbers, let me tell you something that most trucking channels skip right over. The difference between a Hotshot operator making $80,000 a year and one making $140,000 has almost nothing to do with whether they have a CDL. It has everything to do with where they find their loads and how fast they can book them. The tool I use every single day is DAT Load Board. It's where I find freight that actually pays. Not the bottom of the barrel rates. Real loads, real money. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out. All right. Now let's talk about the money. Here's the problem with the conversation around trucking income. People treat CDL like it's a golden ticket. And for some people, it is. If you want to drive for a mega carrier, haul oversized freight, operate a semi, yeah, you need it. But a huge portion of the freight in this country, equipment, machinery, vehicles, materials, can be legally moved without a CDL, and most people don't know that. What I'm about to show you is what happens when you run the actual math, not what the trucking school brochure says. What the bank account actually sees. 2 paths, same amount of hustle. Let's see which one wins. Let's start with the CDL company driver. This is the most common entry point and, honestly, it's the most stable option. You get a paycheck, benefits sometimes, and someone else handles the headaches. In 2026, the average CDL company driver earns somewhere between $55,000 and $85,000 a year. Some experienced regional drivers push $90,000. That sounds solid until you realize you're putting miles on someone else's truck, building someone else's business, and you have almost no control over your schedule. And here's what they don't put on the billboard. After taxes, health insurance deductions, and all the fees they pull before the check hits your account, a lot of those drivers are taking home $42,000 to $65,000. That's the baseline. Remember that number. Now, CDL owner-operators. This is where people think the real money is. And they're not wrong. The ceiling is high. We're talking $100,000 to $180,000 a year gross revenue. But let me be real with you about the costs, because this is where the dream and the reality separate. Diesel. A new semi burns through $70,000 to $100,000 in fuel per year at highway miles. Truck payment on a new Peterbilt or Kenworth. Easily $2,500 to $3,500 a month. Insurance for a CDL semi-owner operator? You're looking at $8,000 to $18,000 a year. Maintenance, tires, permits. Add another $15,000 to $25,000. Run those numbers and a CDL owner-operator grossing $150,000 might net $60,000 to $85,000 after everything. Still good money. But the gap is closing. Now here's where it gets interesting. Non-CDL hotshot trucking. If your rig setup keeps you under 26,001 pounds combined gross vehicle weight, which most F350 or F450 setups with a gooseneck trailer do, you do not need a CDL to move freight commercially. You need a DOT number, the right insurance, and loads to haul. A hotshot operator running consistent loads can generate $80,000 to $140,000 in gross revenue per year. My F350 dually truck payment runs me around $1,100 a month. Fuel costs are significantly less than a semi. Insurance runs me around $4,000 to $7,000 a year. Lower overhead, faster start, same hustle. That's the game. Here's where most comparisons miss the mark. It's not just about gross income. It's about rate per mile and deadhead management. A hotshot operator running loads in good lanes, Texas to the southeast, Midwest agricultural corridors, oil country in West Texas, can consistently pull $2.50 to $4 per loaded mile. On a 600-mile run that pays $3 per mile, that's $1,800 for roughly 1.5 days of work. Do that 4 times a month, and you just grossed $7,200 in a month. Without a CDL, the key is knowing your lanes, minimizing empty miles coming back, and being fast enough to book loads before the other guy grabs them. Speed wins. Real talk. All right, let me lay it out clean. CDL company driver net take home, $42,000 to $65,000. Low risk, low reward. CDL owner operator net after expenses, $60,000 to $100,000. High overhead, high ceiling, but you need serious capital and experience up front. Non-CDL hotshot operator, consistent load.